Hello everyone, my name is PaperNapkin and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy 1. In the last episode we defeated the vampire of the Earth Cave and we got a ruby in exchange for doing so. We also found out that we didn't actually make it to the bottom of the Earth Cave. There was a giant plate covering a staircase going downwards and we really didn't have a means of getting past it. So we took the ruby, we went through Titan Tunnel and we talked to Sarda the Sage and he gave us some sort of rod which we can use to pry open the stone plate, I guess. So it means we have to go all the way down to where we were in the Earth Cave, which is just great. I'm really looking forward to it. I couldn't be more excited. One quick thing I'm going to point out, did make some changes that I mentioned off screen. I leveled up my characters to level 13. I bought some magic for Lexa. Well, just one spell. I bought Ice 2, just because it's a good spell. I'm probably not going to be using it anytime soon, but I'd rather have it now than buy it later. In terms of hope, I bought Anti-Ice, which is going to be really important in the upcoming area. Spoiler, spoiler. In terms of equipment, the only difference is I bought steel armor for paper, and compared to the iron armor, it adds an additional 10 absorb. So if you take a look now, we're at 48, which is just huge. And wow, my hit percentage is 61, so 3% more, and then I get that extra hit. So that's something to look forward to. Maybe the next level, but we'll see. Before going down to the third floor where it was that we were at before, I'm actually going to show the Hall of the Giants, just because I did get a couple requests, and I figured might as well show it. It is a pretty unique area of the game, so pretty much once you get to this point, every time, well maybe, there we go. Everywhere you step, you'll come across these giants, and sometimes there'll be iguanas accompanied by them. At this point, they shouldn't be too much of a problem. They're kind of like ogres. They have a lot of hit points, pretty good defense, and wow, that did more damage than I thought. But if you focus your attacks, you should be able to take them out pretty quickly. And iguanas are not that much to worry about. Probably best case scenario, you come across, let's be smart about this. Best case scenario, you'll come across 4 giants. That'll give some pretty wicked experience points. Iguanas do give some, but not as much. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, iguanas are a lot weaker. 1 damage against paper, that's nothing. But I guess part of that is the steel armor. And holy crap, Pancake is getting 4 hits now. That is fantastic. That was 190 damage, so. Whoa, 50. That's not good. But yeah, let's take a look at this experience points. And 300 and about 1,000 gold, which isn't too bad, but like I said, if there's 4 giants, it's going to be a whole lot more. But I'm not going to show any more, just because I really don't like this area so much. So I'm going to go and meet you guys down on the 3rd floor, and then we'll continue on to the rest of the Earth Cave. Now that we're back at the 3rd floor of the Earth Cave, we can finally get rid of that stone plate that's covering the staircase. I kind of mentioned before that maybe the rod was magical, and we were going to maybe levitate the stone plate, or maybe it was like a crowbar and we could actually just lift it up. But that's actually not the case. If you go into your inventory and not talk to it, if you go into your inventory and use the rod, it'll actually say that you shatter it, which is kind of surprising considering it's just a rod. I mean, couldn't you just use the White Mage's silver hammer at this point? Or, you know, the 4 of you could jump on it and maybe it would break. But I'm not even going to bother questioning that logic anymore. So let's head on over to the next floor. At this point, there's a lot of new, well, there's not a lot, there's a couple new enemies in here that hopefully we'll come across. They're a little bit stronger than anything we faced at this point, but if you've kind of been keeping up to me in terms of level and equipment, you should be fine. There's also some pretty good treasure in here, so we'll make sure to get that along the way. And hopefully we won't run into too many cockatrices, because I did not remember to buy any sloth potions. As you can see, we have 5 chests in here, and not surprising, a lot of them are guarded by enemies. But it's not earth elementals, it's actually something different, so I'm going to show that off in just a second. First up, we have a wooden staff, and here we have 3,400 gold, which is pretty good. I believe if we stand here, yep, Sphinx Encounter with a Sphinx, which is a new enemy. It's, you know, a vanilla type enemy, doesn't have any special abilities. One thing you need to keep in mind though, they have a heck of a lot of evade, so you're going to be missing quite a few hits. And yeah, if you're not prepared for that, you might get surprised. For the random encounters, usually you'll come across 1 or 2. I don't think you can come across any more than that at this point. just because they are a bit tougher. I think they have 200 hit points and they can hit for, let's see, well, 3 damage on paper with the steel armor, but if they hit one of your mages, they can do some pretty decent damage, so keep that in mind. And just like that, dead. And really good gold. Wow, 1,000 gold for just one. So if you want to farm for gold, speaking of gold, we got 1,500. This is definitely, you know, a viable option. Here we have some more gold, and we have a heck of a lot of gold. So that was like a gold-filled rune. Holy crap! So it's definitely worthwhile coming over here. And if you haven't bought the steel armor at this point, chances are you'll be pretty close to being able to afford it now. But it's not absolutely necessary. It's kind of a more of a luxury purchase. You will find some pretty equivalent armor in the not so distant future, so keep that in mind. If you're struggling for cash, don't buy it. You will find something as an alternative. At this point, we kind of have a bit of a fork. It doesn't really matter which way you go. They both end up in the same area. I'm just gonna take this bottom area just because, I don't know, no reason at all. I feel maybe it's a little bit faster. It doesn't really make a difference at all. But at this point, you can either go up and down. If you go down, there's some more treasures, so we're gonna get that first. And it looks like a pretty big room, so hopefully there's something good in there. And that bat is planning on cutting me off at some point, probably when I come back out. So I'm gonna keep my eye on him. If we come in here, we have 3 chests, and I'm guessing they're guarded. Yes, they are guarded, and they're guarded by some new enemies. 2 new enemies, actually. We have the Wizard Ogre and the Hyena. Hyenas are pretty bland. They have weird-looking red eyes, and I don't even know why they're blue. But nothing to worry about there. The Wizard Ogre is the one you want to take out first. It's stronger than, obviously, the Grey Ogre and the normal Ogre, but it has the ability to use Ruse, which will boost its evasion by quite a bit. And if it does that, you're going to have a heck of a hard time taking it out. I'm going to go ahead and use an Ice 2, just to speed things up a little bit, because I definitely don't like dealing with these. And 28 damage, it's a bit much for hope, but I do have a lot of healing potions which I bought, so I'll put those to good use. And hopefully, wow, that really blinded me right there. That's not doing a heck of a lot of damage. I probably should use Fire 2 or something, but that was a wicked hit. Good job, Paper. I'm just a tank in this game. Woo. Now we just pick off the leftovers. Nothing too difficult. Hopefully it's worth it. I hope it's a good chest. If it's more gold, I could always use that. I hope if it's like useless equipment. And a cabin, which is not so bad. And some more gold. And let's see what's over here. A silver shield, which is a slight improvement for the fighter, so we'll give that to him now. And there we go. Looking good. Starting to get a nice set of silver armor, even though we don't want the armor. I guess that way. There. Oh my god. Bats! No! No! Just get out of my way. Thank you. And now you're planning something, are you? Your friends. You're the one that controlled them, didn't you? Didn't you? Oh, whatever. You're dead to me, Bat. You always will be. But we head over this way. We can now go to the final level of this dungeon, which is a bit of a short one, so we're almost there, folks. We're almost at the end. You just kind of want to go counterclockwise. It's the shortest possible path. You can go other ways if you want. There's no treasure to pick up along the way, so, I mean, yeah, it's really not point. There's not much point to it. If you come down here, the final room. This is what we've been waiting for. As you can see, there's a nice shiny ball here, kind of signifying that something ominous is going to happen. At this point, make sure you're healed up. I think I could stand to use a little bit more healing, especially my weaker guys here. Probably could have done this off screen, but I guess maybe that should be pretty good. Make sure you're fully healed. Make sure, you know, you're ready for this. Mentally prepared. I know I am. Are you? Well, it doesn't matter because I'm about to start this. Click on the orb, the Fiend's ball cracks open and an ominous cloud rises. And it is Lich, the Fiend of Earth. So this is the actual boss of the Earth Cave, not surprising. This is the Lich. It is undead and it is weak to both fire and harm spells, so keep that in mind. One thing I will point out, this is an actual boss fight, so when you go to hit fight, it doesn't actually give you the chance to target anything, so keep that in mind. If you're on your 4th character and you're kind of rushing through the commands and you make a mistake and you accidentally hit fight, it's going to input all the commands and you won't be able to go back, so just keep that in mind. The Lich is pretty tough. It's a lot stronger than anything we've encountered at this point, so I'm definitely going to be busting out all the moves. I'm going to be throwing a fast on paper, attacking with Pancake, and I'm actually going to be using anti-ice on Hope, just because the Lich uses some pretty powerful spells, and Ice 2 is the one it uses most often, so if I can get anti-ice up quickly, that'll make, well, 5 damage. Holy crap, that did nothing. It would make the damage from Ice 2 do very little. You can also use other spells such as Sleep 2, Lightning 2, and in rare situations it can use Nuke, which is Flare in the remakes, which can do some pretty crazy damage, but usually that only happens if the battle goes on for too long. So I'm going to put it fast on Pancake, and since I pretty much got the anti-ice up, I guess I could... I'm going to heal up just a little bit. Anticipation of taking some damage. See, there's Ice 2. It's only doing about 20 damage now, or almost 40 there. But if you didn't have the anti-ice up, you'll be getting hit by about 100 or so, which can make for a very short fight. So it's definitely a good idea to throw that up. And hopefully heal about 20, so, you know, it makes that more manageable. And I don't have any more fast, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack. And I'm going to throw some Harm 2s at this thing just to get some more damage on it. And there's Sleep 2, missed, thank goodness. And I'm really not doing too much damage. So magic is probably the best way to go for this fight, if you have some. 64 damage from your white mage is always a nice contribution. Let's throw down a fire too as well. And don't be afraid to go all out in this fight. Oh, and he's using fast on himself, that bastard. Just because, I mean, if you have spell charges, use them now because you're not going to be needing them in the near future. And if you die, you're definitely not going to be needing them. And I'm slowly taking damage away. Yeah, let's use another fire too. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That's a perfect example of, you know, making a mistake. And holy crap, there's Lightning too. And that is doing some incredible damage to me. I probably should have put up an anti-lightning if I was smart enough to remember. But doesn't matter, we got him. Pancake with the finishing blow. Alright. And pretty good gold, pretty good experience points. But more importantly, we defeated our first boss. And if we stand over here, really game, a random encounter right after the boss fight, that is just a douchebag move. If you stand over here, you'll actually restore the light to one of our orbs. Ooh, cool. The screen shaked and everything. So if you take a look at our inventory, the orb in the left-hand corner there is actually shiny now. So we've done something. We don't really know what, aside from the fact that we're supposed to make the orb shiny. But we'll find out in the future, don't worry. So you're probably thinking, oh crap, now we have to walk all the way back out of the Earth Cave yet again. But no! In their infinite wisdom, they decided they would be really nice and put this nice little teleporter. And voila! We're back at the surface. Which means we're done with the Earth Cave and we never have to come back here again unless you want to do some grinding. But I'm pretty sure at this point you don't want to come back here. And I completely understand, because I really was not looking forward to this Earth Cave dungeon. I mean, it's not too bad, but I've just played through it so many times. But yeah, now that we've done that, we can kind of move on to the next point in the game, which we don't really know what to do. So in the next episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy 1, we're going to head over to Melmond, do some little last minute tweakings before we continue on in our journey. Until then, my name is PaperNapkin. Take it easy, folks.